Hey guys, this is how to bypass a Series 1 E30 SI board within the instrument cluster. Basically, if you're having issues with your instruments, for me it was the rev counter and the temperature gauge died one day and the economy meter stopped working as well. Your culprit could be this SI board. So with mine, the batteries actually leaked out onto the board, like the acid leaked out, rendering the board pretty much useless. So if you can replace the batteries, by all means, if you want to keep your board. But if not, you can bypass the board completely and your instruments will work. So all you're going to need for this is a soldering iron and Phillips head screwdriver and a little bit of wire, and that should be fine. Now, just a quick disclaimer, this is a Series 2 E30 instrument cluster, and this fix or bypass, the SI board bypass, won't work on these instrument clusters because the pins are different and the SI board altogether is far more integrated within the instruments as opposed to the Series 1 board. So unfortunately, if you have one of these boards, you're going to have to find an alternative method. So in order to gain access to your instrument cluster, all you need to do is take out 9 of these Phillips head screws. I'm not going to actually show it because I've only got one hand. But once you take out the 9, you can just split apart the cluster, the instruments and the back of the cluster. Basically what you want to do is you just get your wire, and when the camera focuses, you'll see you'll just solder those 2 pins there. So just on the metal there, you just solder those 2 together. And this is just a cheap bit of wire that I got out of it's just some speaker wire or something. It's very small, so I don't think that you're going to need anything big or heavy duty. You obviously just want something with a little bit of insulation around it. And when you are soldering, just make sure you don't solder any of these together. It was a little bit tricky to get it perfectly right, but as long as these aren't sort of soldered and you haven't got a connection here, you should be fine. So just a quick comparison, obviously that's the Series 1 SI board, the instrument cluster, and this is the Series 2. So as you can see, the pins here are completely different to the Series 1 board, which is also why it's not going to work. So after you've done that, you can just put it all back together and then put it in the car and check if it works. All right, so once you've got your instrument cluster plugged back in with the blue and the white wire and the other little one that goes into the green thing in the back, just turn the key into the accessories onto the on position. You can see there the economy meter starts moving, the fuel gauge is working, and the temperature gauge flickered a bit. So we're just going to start the car and make sure everything works. As you can see, the rev counter is working fine, and the temperature gauge will come up, but obviously it's going to take a while. I'm not going to film that. But if it sort of twitches just as you turn the key into the on position, you know it's going to work. Now as well, if you've tried this and your gauges are still playing up, just go ahead and replace fuses number 10, 12, and 21. Don't check them. They might look completely fine. Just replace them because there could be a little bit of corrosion, which is sort of causing the fuse to malfunction. So as you can see there, the temperature gauge is just starting to come up now. Thanks guys.